Hello there. My name is Mariah. Welcome back to Mariah's Little Life. In this video, we will be reading some manga. And the first manga that I have chosen to put on my channel, I'm pretty sure you've seen the thumbnail. It's Dandadan. I am so excited to get back into this series. And yes, I did say get back into it because I have read volumes 1 and 2 already, but I do want to reread volumes 1 and 2 and then continue on with 3 through 7 for the sake of this video. My husband actually inspired me to read Dandadan. He really likes the anime. He's a big anime guy. And I wanted to read something that he has watched and really enjoyed. And Dandadan was one of those series. And he actually told me to start with Dandadan. He thought that I would enjoy this a lot. And so far, so good. I have really enjoyed volumes 1 and 2. So I'm really looking forward to rereading the first two and getting back into the series. This uh this manga series is pretty much about Momo and Okaran. The two form this unusual friendship because Momo is a believer of spirits and mediums, things like that. But she thinks aliens, UFOs, and stuff like that is just nonsensical and just crazy. Okaran, on the other hand, believes in UFOs and anything in the spirit world. He just thinks, is weird. So one day they set out to prove each other wrong, and Momo has to end up going to this UFO hotspot area to see if aliens and UFOs are real. And then Okaran end up going to this haunted tunnel to see if spirits are real. And when the two do this, they end up okay. We don't know what my kid is in there doing. We just gonna let him be free and be who he is. But in the process of them trying to prove each other wrong, what actually unfolds is friendship and the start of a young love story. Now, this series does have explicit content warning on all the volumes. So I definitely would say be mindful of who picks this one up because even in the first two volumes, there is, I see why the explicit content warning is on all the volumes. So this is definitely for an older audience. I'm not sure um what this is suggested for. I just know that the in the back of it does say M for mature. Be mindful of that when you're picking this up or you're letting like your younger, kids or something pick these up. So just be mindful. But I just want to show you the covers of these. I think these are so vibrant and pretty. But this is volume 1, volume 2, volume 3, volume 4, volume 5, volume 6, and volume 7. What I'm hoping is that if I go ahead and start, I can reread volumes 1 and 2 today. It is 3:30. So it's a little bit late in the day to be starting something to sit down and physically read, but it is manga, so it shouldn't be too bad. I am actually going to give myself about an hour to an hour and a half to start reading the manga. After that, I have to like get up and cook dinner and everything like that. But I should have a little bit of time to sit and read. Also, it is hot outside today. It's like 90 something degrees. And I don't think we're going to go anywhere today just to, play it safe. I think we're just going to relax at home. So I should have a bit of time to actually sit down a little bit and relax and read and just keep cool because like I said, it's hot outside today. But yeah, we're gonna do that. I'm gonna go cozy down on the couch, bring you with me so we can start dan. Hello there. I have read chapter 1 of volume 1 of Dandadan. We meet Momo first, and in this first like couple of pages, we see Momo and her boyfriend break up because he wants to be intimate with Momo, but she is not ready for that yet. And instead of him respecting that she's not ready yet, He basically just calls her out her name and treats her like trash. And I'm like, girl, you should have known that's how he was gonna be anyway. So she's having a whole moment from that, and she's upset about it. And so she's walking down the hallway and ends up seeing Okaran being pretty much being bullied because the other guys in the class are like throwing things at him, and he's just over there minding his business. She sits by Okaran to stop them from bullying him, and they two end up just striking up a conversation. And Momo eventually mentions how she does believe in spirits because her grandma's a spirit medium. And then Okaran is like, well, I believe in, aliens. And that's when the whole like proving each other wrong comes into play, because they swap places pretty much. They're like, okay, well, Momo is gonna go to a UFO hotspot area, and then Okaran is going to go to a haunted tunnel, because he doesn't believe in spirits. So we're gonna see what happens. And lo and behold, Okaran runs into Turbo Granny. You're not supposed to try to outrun Turbo Granny, because if she sees you running, she thinks you're trying to race her. And if she wins, she's going to curse you. Of course, Okaran doesn't win the race. He don't even know that he's supposed to be racing. He's scared, so he just takes off running. And of course, like I said, she beats him in the race, and she ends up cursing Okaran. She's like in him now. So Okaran is fighting between like letting Turbo Granny out and like being himself. Momo, on the other hand, runs into three of the many aliens from the planet like Cephon or something like that, whatever the planet is called. But she ends up running into them and they abduct her. What I don't love, and what I didn't love the first time I read this either, was the aliens strip Momo's clothes off of her and they tie her to this, I don't know what it's called, bed situation, bed. I don't know what it's called, but they tie her to it so that they can perform the sex thing. And they're doing this because on their planet, all of them are identical to each other. So they don't have any variety or anything like that on their planet. And they want to try and like reproduce with Momo to try and like have a variety, like different individuals on their planet. And I'm like, that's not the way to do it. That is not the way to do it. Momo is not giving her consent to any of this. Like, you abducted her, you stripped all her clothes off, and you tied her to this bed thing, whatever this thing is, to try and reproduce with her. I'm like, no, that's not okay. So I will say any um sensitivity to assault or anything like that, just be mindful. The reason why I mentioned that this early, because some people will have a sensitivity to that, and I know that it's in manga form, yes, but with pictures along with it, I feel like it may be triggering to some audiences. You do see her clothes being ripped off. You do see her on the table. You do see them like inching towards her to, to go ahead and go through with what their plans are. So I'm just saying, be mindful. No, it's not going to happen. They are stopped before they do anything to Momo. So just know that. But just kind of just to mentally prepare yourself, I guess, for that. If there's something that is triggering to you in any way, just know that that's something that occurs in the first chapter. I am going to try not to come and update after every single chapter. I'm going to try to practice some self control and update like periodically instead of every chance I get. And I'm going to go ahead and continue reading this and see how far I get before I have to get up and make dinner. But yeah, I will check in with you in a little while. Ooh, hello there. May not be the best angle because I am in the car, but since I am stuck in traffic while it's raining, I thought that I would go ahead and give a bit of an update for Dandadan Volume 1. I finished it Wednesday night after my update of the first chapter, but I didn't come back and do like a update on it that same night. I was just too sleepy, so I just turned the camera off and I went to bed. And then yesterday we were out of town, my boys and I, because I actually had to go to the dentist for my, you know, one of the twice yearly cleanings I had to do. But I went to get that done yesterday morning, and where I go to the dentist is like an hour away from our home. So it's far away from me, but it's closer to a lot of the shopping centers and everything. Which is nice because I actually got a chance to pick up some more things to add in to my husband's Father's Day gift. But I want to talk a little bit more about Dandadan Volume 1, because I think the last time I updated and finished updating about Chapter 1, we were we had already went into the tunnel and the UFO hotspot and learned that Ocaron was cursed by Turbo Granny. Since Ocaron has been cursed by Turbo Granny, we have also learned that Momo has powers. And her powers sort of awakened when she was in that room with the aliens and she was trying to break free, and realized that she has some psychic abilities. And Momo's grandmother was also introduced in this first volume, and she's a spirit medium, and she helps Momo to sort of learn and just understand her new powers, so that she kind of gets has a better idea of how to use them, when to use them, and all those things. Momo's grandmother is she is a mess. Constantly smoking a cigarette and wearing flip-flops, and it's so funny to me. Oh dear, I think it's 2 accidents. Oh Lord, I hope everybody's okay, or as okay as possible or can be. Um, Sorry, that's so not what the volume is. It's just a lot of police on the road. It's a bunch on this side and on the other road. Just even though I most likely don't know the people, seeing an accident always just, it makes me so sad. But sorry, like I said, that's not why you're here. You're here for an update. We get to know a little bit more about Momo's powers because um, Momo's grandma is pretty much explaining, you know, what her powers are or how she can use them. And so it helps Momo to help Ocaron a little bit better. When Momo is looking at Ocaron, she can see the, like, how do you say the word aura? I always pronounce that funny, but she can see the aura of like people and plants and things like that. And so when she looks at Ocaron, that aura is a different color. It's like a blue to her. And when she can see it, she can grasp it. And that helps Ocaron to kind of come out a little bit more, because if not, Turbo Granny is sort of taking center stage. We then found out that Turbo Granny is pretty much teamed up with a bound spirit that's in the tunnel. This makes Turbo Granny and the bound spirit a lot more powerful since they're together. Hello there, I am back home, and I have changed. I'm actually sitting outside because it's the first time in days it's been cool, and it just rained, so I'm not sure if you'll hear a whole bunch of extra like bird sounds and whatever else. But I wanted to finish my like wrap up or review of Dandadan Volume 1. I think the last time that I was updating in the car, I mentioned Momo's grandmother had like a plan in order to basically defeat Turbo Granny and break the curse on Ocaron. I think that's where I stopped. And about that time is pretty much the end of volume 1. So they go into so Momo and Ocaron do end up going back into the tunnel and seeing the bound spirit that's in the tunnel. And then what ends up happening is the bound spirit is turns out that it's ginormous crab. It was just the oddest thing because I wasn't expecting it to be this crab, but it turns out the bound spirit took the form of a crab. But I also forgot to mention that Okuran has, I'm not trying to put this as delicately as possible. Banana and kiwis are missing because Turbo Granny has like taken them and hidden them since she like took over his body. It's got me thinking, what was this author thinking of? What inspired them to follow this, like make this storyline the plot of this book? I just was not expecting like the spirit, like Turbo Granny. It turns out the aliens and Turbo Granny were just these horny people, and it's just the oddest thing to me. But yeah, so Okuran has been missing his banana and kiwis for the majority of volume one. And then like the last chapter, I think the bound spirit ends up giving it back to him. So he's got his banana back, and it feels so weird saying it. I think the only thing I think the only thing that kind of throws me for a loop here and there is like Turbo Granny and like she could be detached from Okuran, but then a part of her is still in Okuran, so he can still transform. But at the end of this, they have pulled Granny from Okuran, so they're like separate beings, but also like the spirit of Granny the Turbo Granny is still allowing Okuran to transform. And before I had read volume two, like the first time around, I kept wondering like, well, what would happen if, you know, they're completely separated? So maybe Turbo Granny's spirit is completely separated from Okuran. Like, what would that mean for Okuran? Would he be just a completely normal person? Would there be some kind of abilities unlocked within him and he's still able to transform? What would that mean? I do have to remember that these are high school characters, so it's still below my age range, but the content in here makes it suitable for like someone my age. Before this volume ended, we did see Momo using more of those powers the way that her grandma taught her to. She was because Momo was so she was so stuck on like if I can't see the spirit, then I can't, I can't help Okuran. I can't stop anything. I can't control anything. She was like, you saw the spirit, yes, but if you can see it, then you can also sense it. You can feel it. And so she's been teaching Momo that even if she doesn't see the spirit, she can still sense it. She can still feel it. And I love how at near the end of this volume, she's wanting to help Okuran, but she herself gets bound. She gets trapped, and she can't see Okuran at all the way that she has been trapped. And this is after they have like, the bound spirit is kind of released and everything, and Turbo Granny is causing mayhem everywhere. But I do like that even though she couldn't see Okuran in that moment, she still used her abilities to sense Turbo Granny, and she put a stop to her. She stopped her in her tracks. But yeah, at the end of this, I just was not expecting this crab to just come out of nowhere. Obviously, like I wasn't expecting it the first time. I was expecting it the second time because this is a reread of the first two. But I just wasn't expecting that crab the first time. I was like, what in the world? The bound spirit is a gigantic crab. What is happening here? I did also finish Dandadan Volume 2 today. I just recently finished this actually. I didn't read a single thing yesterday. I don't know if I mentioned that in the car or not, But yeah, I didn't read a single thing yesterday, so I read pretty much this, like all of today. I started last night and I read a little bit. Um, Not very much though, but I read the rest of it today. And this one picks up just when volume one ends. And so we are going through town running from this crab, and it is huge. I just wanted to show this page. It's huge. This crab has faces on its back. And honestly, it's creepy. It is so creepy. At first, I was like, "Oh my god!" Like it's spine tingling. It makes me shudder. I don't know about anybody else. The faces on the crab's back are girls that have been killed. And Momo's like, it has faces all over its back. But the thing is, no one besides Okuran and Momo can see the crab. And usually when that happens, people haven't had anything to tap into their like psychic powers or anything like that. So nobody can see it. They're just, at this point, they're just running through town and people looking at them like they crazy. Because they're like, well, what's chasing you? Why are you running through town at top speed? Because nobody else can see this giant crab. And I'm just like, okay, well, nobody else can see the giant crab, but the crab is literally tearing through. Like, look at that. The crab is tearing through the city. So I'm like, how are things not being knocked over and people not being, like knocked over and hurt and all this other stuff if like it's causing physical damage. Um, but everybody else seems to be fine. And then Momo Momo tries to think of a way to slow the crab down. And so she remembers that there's this like kind of like hot tub sauna area or something like that in one of these buildings. And so they crash through the building and the crab falls into the water. And Momo uses her psychic powers to like boil the water. And so now the crab is all boiled. It's all red and boiled. And Momo, it ridiculously thinks that the crab looks delicious. Okuran is like, stop eyeballing it and let's get out of here. And it's so funny because she's thinking about dinner. Momo is thinking about dinner. She's not thinking about the fact that we need to run while this crab is pretty much immobilized. They're still trying to get out of the city, away from where the bound spirit, the tunnel, and everything is. And then out of nowhere, here come all of these people that look like this. There's a cemetery at the edge of the city, and when the bound spirit came, pretty much is restless now, and they pretty much tapped into the spirits that were sleeping at the cemetery. So the spirits from the cemetery are pretty much, they're trying to help the bound spirit from the tunnel, and Momo and Okuran are being chased not only by the crab but by these haunted people. I think this is chapter 8 though, when more of what happened to these girls gets explained. So when the crab pretty much explodes, we have a moment where all of these little precious souls get released from the back of this crab. And I thought it was like a nice touching moment, but also very sad because the girls, they never wanted to be part of that like evil bound spirit situation. They never wanted to be part of it. They were just young girls and unexpectedly, walked into something, maybe a place they shouldn't have or something like that, and didn't walk back out. And then a few more pages over, they have this memorial service almost. Momo's grandma, Momo, and Okuran have like a little bit of a ceremony and like say prayers at the tunnel site where the girls were killed at. Momo's grandma explains a lot of what happens in this chapter. And this says, this place was the scene of multiple murders. The killer attacked girls like you, assaulted them, cut them up, and scattered their body parts. Those girls had no desire to become evil spirits. The next page it says, "We mediums have been hunting Turbo Granny for a long time, and every encounter with her had one thing in common. She always appeared near the spirits of girls who died horrific deaths." Goes on to say, "I suspect she was visiting places where girls can't pass to the afterlife so she could console them. But the dead must never attack the living, so force is necessary to send them to the other side." And I like that they show so much sympathy, both Momo and her grandma, and also Okuran too. But of course, Momo's grandma understands a bit more. She helps Momo to understand, and through this process of like grieving, they pretty much they grieve and mourn the passing of these girls, and they didn't know them. They didn't know them at all, even though it was obviously a hard chapter, or at least a hard chapter for me to read. And I think even though that was a hard chapter, it may have been like one of my favorite ones of this volume, because like I said, I love when other people care about other people. Even if you don't know them, you could just show a little bit of compassion and a little bit of empathy. And like I said, they took the time to recognize that these girls died horrifically, and nobody paid any, nobody paid for that crime or for those crimes. But they at least showed their respects for them, and I really really enjoyed that added aspect of this. Okay, I turned my little light on. I hope that helps. But another person that we meet, I think it's like Aura. I don't know how to pronounce her name right either. I'm gonna have to ask everybody for help with these names. I don't know. She just rubs me the wrong way. And she and Okaran bump into each other, and she's like trying to be nice to him and everything like that. And Okaran he is nerdy and geeky, and anytime a cute girl talks to him, he gets really shy. He stumbles all over his words. He doesn't know what to say. And that's what happens when the two bump into each other. So Okaran is apologizing to Aura, whatever her name is. He's apologizing to her, and she's like, "No, no, it's fine." He's just blushing or whatever, and she's like, what did she say? "Hey, did you just see that? That nerd had such a dumb look on his face. He's totally head over heels for me. He must be crushing so hard right now." And then her friends is like, "He totally played him." And she goes, "Well, yeah, it's fun making worthless trash get the hots for me." I'm like, that you are incredibly rude. You are incredibly rude. Like, did you have to say all of that? Because I don't think you did. So I just like when people think that way or say things like that, it just gets under my skin. I don't like it. I don't like a I don't like a secretive bully. Like if you're gonna be a bully, just be a bully. Like if you're gonna be ugly and mean and nasty, just be that. But don't be on the cover about it. Funniest thing, there's this wash basin that was sitting on top of the lockers, and Momo used her psychic powers because she overhears her say all this about Okaran, who doesn't deserve it, by the way. Momo overhears her say all this stuff about Okaran, and she uses her psychic power to send his wash basin flying, and it clocks clocks the girl right in the head, and she is out seeing stars. She's in the middle of the flow, in a daze, and it was so funny. I was like, "That's what you get, instant karma. That's what you get." She has it in her mind that she has been chosen to defeat evil because she is so beautiful. I'm sorry, what? You've been chosen to defeat evil because you're beautiful. That's the only thing that you bring it to the table. It's the only attribute that you have, is that you're so beautiful. Like, how are you capable in any other way? I'm very confused. She finds the ball and she picks it up, and when she touches it, it unleashes some psychic powers or psychic abilities in her, and she is now able to see like spirits and things like that. So now this girl is like Momo, she's evil. She has like devil wings. She's got it in her mind that she's going to get her two friends together to take Momo down, because you know she's been called, because she's so beautiful. Yeah, she's been called to defeat Momo in her, you know, in all her evilness because she's so beautiful. So she devising this plan to trap um Momo so that she can vanquish the devil and the demon or whatever from her. But in the meantime, she keeps seeing the woman in the red dress. So I don't know what this woman in the red dress, um, she keeps seeing her, and her friends can't see her. She doesn't quite understand that because she touched the golden ball, she can now see spirits. Like that's the reason why she thinks that she's supposed to be defeating all this evil. But yeah, she goes on to try and like lure Momo to this random place, and her friends come out of nowhere, attack her, and throw her down to the ground. And she's trying to vanquish this demon out of her. And you know who else shows up? The lady in the red dress. She turns out to be acrobatic Silky. Her coming with the bundles, not her coming with the straight bundle. I mean, they silky bundles too. She keeps saying like that she's Aura's mother, and I'm like, I don't think you are. But I mean, maybe not. I feel like I will get a little bit more of an answer in volume 3, which I'm very excited to pick up. Yeah, I'm definitely going to go back inside where there's actual light. I hope this isn't too dark, but I just wanted like a different place to film and update. But yeah, I'm going to go back in and I'm going to find volume 3 and start volume 3 of Dandadan tonight. See how far I get. I would love to finish it tonight, but we'll see if I do that or not. No pressure if I don't finish it. I just want to start it. But yeah, I will catch back up with you later. Hello there. I am back with another update before I go to bed tonight. It's like after 10:30, and I really wanted to sit and read some more of this, but I'm already yawning, and I don't think I'm gonna make it. I got to page, I think 94. So I'm about to start chapter 19, but so far we have still been like dealing with acrobatic Silky. That first chapter made me so sad. You kind of see how the lady prior to this actually became acrobatic Silky. The things that she had to do to make money for her daughter, um and this was before when she was human, but the things that she had to do in order to make money for her daughter, and then to have her daughter taken away from her, just so frustrating. So like I said, this vlog is going to have spoilers in it, so I do want to just share what happened in this first chapter of volume 3. We find out that Aura actually stops breathing, and so in order for her to like come back and be resuscitated, acrobatic Silky offers her aura to Aura. Momo is the one that pulls it from acrobatic Silky to give to Aura, because acrobatic Silky told her to do so. When that happens, you watch acrobatic Silky just deteriorate. Since Momo is pulling the aura from acrobatic Silky, she is able to kind of be a bridge between acrobatic Silky and Aura. Momo is able to see all or most of the events that led acrobatic Silky to becoming what she is now, and so freaking tragic. First of all, acrobatic Silky, I'm almost certain, had to prostitute herself to make money for her and her daughter. That's got to be such a difficult, lifestyle. And also, it may not be the safest lifestyle either. But she was working so hard to try to save money for her daughter, and try to provide the best way she could and the best way she knew how, which was that. And she worked so many, seems like so many odd jobs just to try to make, like ends meet and just to try to provide. So that alone was already sad. And then some a group of guys like broke into their place, kidnapped Aura, beat the crap out of acrobatic Silky, like kicked her freaking eye in, and stole all her money. That ticked me off. That ticked me off. Just the treatment that ticked me off. I think that got me the most so far out of out of these 3 volumes. I think that ticked me off the most because yes, like I said, that lifestyle and that way of earning money is already difficult. I feel like that's already so much on a person mentally, physically, because she can't find her daughter, and she ends up like dancing her way off of the side of a building. And I am like, this entire first 2 chapters is completely tragic. That really broke my heart. Pretty much when she turned into acrobatic Silky, she didn't quite remember like what or who she was looking for. She was kind of like wandering around aimlessly with just no sense of direction. And she was like, I can't remember what it was, but I feel like I've lost something precious. What was it that I lost? And of course it was her daughter, like she lost her daughter. And to not remember like your kids, your family, friends even, for you not to remember that is so lonely. That's such a lonely existence. Like just thinking about you kind of walking around and you not only are you just walking around looking for something, but you don't know what and you don't know who. That's so lonely. The one thing that I am slightly confused on is this truly Aura's mom? Aura does call her mommy in the end before or mom before she ends up completely disappearing and from like the flashback of what happened to Acrobatic Silky before she came Acrobatic Silky, and what Aura looks like as a young girl look completely different to me. I don't know. Maybe it's just the way that she's remembering. Maybe Aura does change, but this is what the 2 girls look like right here. And to me, they look like 2 totally different kids. Maybe they're not though. I don't know. Maybe it's something that I'm not seeing. Acrobatic Secret has so many regrets when it comes to Aura because she felt like she didn't protect her. She didn't do her job as a mom. She has so much mom guilt. So much mom guilt, and it's on a new level. As a mom, I do have mom guilt sometimes. I know I shouldn't feel it, but I do. Like just taking the time to even read sometimes. I feel like that's mom guilt a little bit because I'm doing something that I enjoy and I'm not just constantly in my kids' face. Even though my kids will tell me like, no, we want to play with each other. Well, we're fine, mom. It's not nearly the same as this, not nearly as tragic as this. But I see the mom guilt. I see I see the struggle with herself when Acrobatic Silky couldn't protect her daughter. She couldn't keep her from being taken away. She couldn't, keep their home safe. She couldn't do those things even though she tried. The one thing that Acrobatic Silky can finally do now is give herself up so that her daughter lives. I wasn't emotionally prepared for these first few chapters of this manga. I was not. I wasn't. I was just gonna sit down on the sofa, mind my business and read, and this manga has taken me through it in these few chapters. It really has. But I'm enjoying the first part of this so much. Um and so I am definitely glad that I'm collecting these physically because I will absolutely reread through these at some point again. But yeah, I am reading volume 3 for the first time though, so I'm enjoying my first read through of this so much, and I cannot wait to be able to sit back down and read through the rest of this. But yeah, that is it for this update for tonight, I am going to go to bed because I'm getting sleepy. But yes, I will check back in the morning. Good morning. Happy Saturday. It is 11:34 in the morning. Before I give my update on Dandadan Volume 3, I did finish it. I wanted to show you something that I ordered for my husband. It took a little bit on the shipping, but I did get it personalized, and I'm gonna try to open it now because he's not home yet. He went for a run, like like out of town this morning, and I'm pretty sure like him and the run group went out for brunch and everything, so he's not home yet. So I figured if I can open this real quick and then go ahead and hide it with the rest of his Father's Day gift, I can go ahead and get it in there before he sees anything. They did spell it right. Of course, I had to input how to spell it, but some people just don't spell his name right. My husband's name is Terrence. So I'm excited that they got that right. Let me sit this down so I can show you the belt. And he's a Dragon Ball Z fan. And I thought that this was so cool. I really, really hope that this is easy for him to wear. I got him a medium belt, but this one's got if I'm not mistaken, the character's name are Vegeta, I think. I know all the other anime people like, girl, get it together. Cause I'm terrible with these names. Oh, it feels nice. But this is what it looks like. And it's got the different people on there. And I know I think they evolve and turn into different ones or something like that. I don't know. I just thought it was so cool. And I just really hope that he likes this one. They had some different ones that were a bit darker, but there's some color on this one. Like this one is like colored. This this one is with this purple and kind of like dark blues and everything. And I think there was one more, at least one more. Yes, him. He's colored in as well. And then the rest of them are like black and white, almost like you were reading a manga. And like this one right here definitely reminds me of reading a manga. This like scene right here reminds me so much of reading manga. But I really, really hope that he likes this. Hello there. I am back with an update. I did start Dandadan Volume 4. Oh, it's very glary. But Dandadan Volume 4, I actually didn't start this till like maybe an hour ago. Today just did not go like I wanted it to go pretty much at all. I did not think that mentally I was going to struggle today, but I had a whole lot of anxiety today. And yeah, it slowed me down a lot from doing what I wanted to do. Just not in a good headspace this evening to really appreciate this volume. I'm not going to stop reading this completely or just not, finish the vlog. So, not that, but I think that I am going to have to force myself to just sit down and calm my mind, calm my spirits and all of that in order for me to really start enjoying my time reading again. Hello there. I am finally back with another update. I didn't pick the camera up at all today besides now because we went out and we had a good time. It rained the majority of the time that we were out and coming back, so a lot of rain today. We kind of need it though. It's been very hot, but I did do some reading today. So this morning I was able to finish volume 4 of Dandadan, and I think I stopped with my last update. I think I stopped on chapter 28, and that was when we had first met. I want to say that his name is Gigi, I think, but they call it's spelled Jiji. So I'm assuming it's Gigi. I haven't like Googled it or anything like that. But Gigi is supposed to be like Momo's childhood best friend and first love, apparently. It actually doesn't seem like they were friends in the first place because he had bullied her at some point. Um, but just that was a long time ago. So, I guess it doesn't matter to them anymore. They've gotten past it. So it was nice to see, them kind of make amends with that, um, and just kind of left the, troubles of the past in the past. That was nice. Gigi has to move in with Momo and her grandma because his house is like haunted or like overcome with spirits or something like that, and he needs to have the house cleansed. And Momo's grandmother tasked her with pretty much cleansing that house and like getting rid of the bad spirits that's in the house. I find the oddest thing, Gigi ends up going to school with them, and I know that's a normal thing for teens to do, is to go to school. I know that's a normal thing, but I'm just like, it's so weird to have Gigi go to school with Momo and Okaran just kind of out of the blue. I'm like, well, I mean, is he starting like mid school year or something? Like, did he transfer? Like, did y'all send his transcripts over? I'm that person that's asking all these random questions. Okaran seems to be having a whole lot of mixed feelings about him because Gigi and Momo have known each other before, so they have a little bit of history. Whereas Okaran is very new. Like Okaran and Momo's friendship is very new. He is acting a bit different, but I feel like that's just to be expected because somebody, from the outside, somebody different is coming in to challenge your friendship that you have just started building with your new friend. And something always happens when Okaran and Momo are at school, it seems. Here comes this, like, I don't even know what to call him. He's pretty much the mannequin from like the anatomy lab. You know how like they have the like diagrams of the human body like exposed, and you can see the muscles and fibers and all that other stuff, and then like his skin. So he's like half muscle and sinew, and then half skin, but he's like a mannequin in human anatomy class come to life pretty much, and he is just a mad dash through the town. He's knocking them over. And Okaran and Momo and Gigi think that he is trying to fight them, trying to just take them out and stuff. But really, all he wants to do is get to his love. That's her right there. That's Hannah. And he is madly in love with her, and he is trying so desperately to get back to her. It's it's a bit weird. I'm not gonna lie, it's a bit weird. I was just like, where he come from? And how'd she get in this junkyard? But she is kind of split the same way. So I'm like, was she once like a human anatomy doll or some situation? And like he can move. So when school is closed for the day, he runs out to be with Hannah and spend his nights with Hannah. Then he goes back to school the next day for the anatomy classes and stuff like that. And I guess in the meantime, he just stands there like, I don't know, like a bump on the log. I mean, it's a little odd, but so many other things in this manga series have been odd as well, so it checks out. During the train ride over to Gigi's house, Okaran is still struggling with his feelings for Momo and how he feels about Gigi as well. But the two of them, Okaran and Gigi, end up striking up this whole conversation and going back and forth about like aliens. He's like, oh, he's actually pretty cool. In chapter 32, Gigi called Okaran a friend. He called him his friend. I love how, and this is on the same train ride, Okaran and Gigi are still talking back and forth. I love how Gigi says to Okaran, I seriously respect you as a friend, you know? And Okaran is like, a friend? And, it's shocking to him, to Okaran, that Gigi considers him a friend. Of how like touching that was. because Okaran was like, wow, you consider me a friend, so I should consider you a friend too. Because it's like a friend of Momo's is a friend of mine. Before the chapter ends, we get to Gigi's house, and right off the bat, Momo can't sense anything crazy going on or anything like that, anything out of the ordinary. But Okaran is the last to come into the house, and he just randomly sees this group of people like coming up to the house, and that's when the volume ends. And I was like, who are these people? Because why are y'all walking through the woods? And I know that, and I know it's the daytime. I know it's the daytime when they get there. They do get there in the day. Like this is their house. But why are y'all walking in the why are y'all in the woods? This is them just walking through the woods. And then Okaran looks up and that's who that he sees. And why grandma got her finger up her nose? Very just mm. I knew when I saw that scene it was about to be some mess in volume 5. And you know what? I was right. So when volume 5 starts, we start with Momo kind of looking through the house. She's still kind of doing her checks and seeing if anything is just out of the ordinary. Around and she was like, I don't see nothing. Everything look good. I'm about to go to the hot springs. Okay. Y'all play nice. I'll see y'all when I get back. While Momo is at the hot springs, the boys are just trying to do something together, I guess, like trying to bond and trying to get along. And they do. They like it's fine. They do. But Okaran ends up playing soccer with Gigi. He was like, Gigi's like, you wanna play soccer? And he's like, okay. And poor Okaran is huffing and puffing and kicking the ball every other way but the correct direction. But they're both having a good time. So I liked seeing that they actually were getting along and everything wasn't just all about Momo. Everything wasn't just all, so involving or surrounding Momo. And I like that they can be separated from that. Like they don't have to have Momo around for them to be characters that will like stand on their own in a way. I do like that part. Momo is still at the hot springs. It's an outdoor spring, of course. So since the walls are up high, she's thinking, oh, it's just up there for privacy. Like I would like a nice view, but I understand because the walls are high for, our privacy. So she's in here. Of course, she doesn't have her clothes on because it's a hot spring. And she's just minding her business, relaxing, but she starts to feel a little bit lightheaded. So she was like, okay, better go ahead and get out. Before she can get out the springs, 5 dudes just pop up. All of them are like, in the nude, with they towels or whatever, but about to come and get in these hot springs. And you see this one teenage girl in the hot springs, and you like, she she's quite a pretty little thing, And y'all jumping into this hot spring, splashing water all over y'all selves, and you're not even being mindful that this teenager's there. The sign, very very illegible, is hanging up that says male slash female mixed use. Y'all need to clarify. We need to know what we walking into, because don't nobody want to go into this spring with all these dudes coming out of nowhere. That's very unsafe. But then one of them asks, he goes, young lady, do you know much about gators? And Momo's like, huh? She said, gators? You mean like the reptile? And they go, ha 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 ha. No, those are not gators. They often show up in mixed hot springs. They come after women who are in the nude. They're called gators. Look at these fools right here. When I tell you that, tick me off. Tick me off. Because these are predators. At this point, you're a predator. I don't care how old they are, but they look like grown, rusty men to me. And Momo is still in high school. So it did automatically tick me off. Because now you being intentional with your creepiness. And how all of y'all that sick in the head. I don't like it. I did not like it. I didn't like anything about that scene. Besides them getting thrashed around in that hot water in the building pretty much collapsing on them. That's the only part that I appreciated about this. Other than that, everything about that scene just ticked me off. Back at the house in the next chapter, apparently the Kato family is the family that Gigi's family is paying the rent to. These aunties and the grandma, whoever, um, they're so shady. Like, I don't know who's worse, the females or the males. This family is insane. They all should be committed. They all should be committed and forced to wear straitjackets. But the Kato family have been for so long sacrificing people to this like snake god thing. But the snake isn't actually a snake. It's some kind of like the flesh eating worm, like this giant flesh eating worm. I mean, it really don't matter. You still sacrificing people to this worm, and calling it the Lord of the Snakes or whatever else you want to call it. Triggers warning is so heavy in this book for suicide, for child endangerment, and child death. Real heavy in this um volume. A lot in it. And as a mom with young kids, I don't like to see it in books. So it was a lot for me to read. And I'll be honest, I probably missed some things during that part because I was just trying to speed read through it. Like I can handle some stuff. It will phase me, absolutely will. Because some things are just tough. But if it absolutely will phase me when like there's fighting or violence and things like that, it will, phase me. But it's something about children. Don't mess with kids. I just can't do better. And you ask for help, it's a different story. But when you're treating a child poorly on purpose, that bothers me the most. So yeah, that this volume was a lot for me to get through. One of the children that was very heavily abused, Gigi some kind of way like went back in time and lived through some of the child's memories, because right now this child has grown into or morphed into um the evil eye. If you look into the evil eye, like, you will want to commit suicide. Be careful with this volume, just mentally wise, like mental health wise. Be careful with this volume. Gigi got a chance to sort of go back in that evil eye's memory and to see why it became what it became. And Gigi ends up trying to save the child. And I was like, Gigi, honey, why would you try and save the child he's gone? Like, yes, the remains, put it that way, were still kind of like underneath the house, like kind of they're hidden because, like I said, this child, there were children in this that just were treated so very poorly. Um, there were nothing but remains. There was no one there to save. Gigi somehow manages to merge with the evil eyes. Is how Gigi turned out. This is how Gigi turned out. What am I gonna do with this? Because what am I gonna do? What am I gonna do with this right here? The I think I keep wanting to say all seeing eye, but the evil eye, I think, wanted to merge. He pretty much wanted Gigi for his physical body, but he said, like, um at long last, it's mine, this body, and with it I will kill all humans. What you mean? What? Look, I know certain humans didn't treat you right, but why can't you just take them out? If you're gonna take anybody out, take them. not innocent people, because all humans didn't do you dirty. So just, go over there with them. Because clearly it's the Kaito family. To me, if you ask me, it's the Kaito family. So you go ahead and take them, because grandma need to be dealt with anyway. So just go ahead and take her on out. That's how I feel. And I'm like, I just started liking you, Gigi. Don't mess this up for me. Please don't mess this up for me. I don't know what to do about it. And so of course I'm gonna pick up volume 6 tomorrow. Of course. I have to. It's a must. I really, really wish that volume 6 was available on Libby for me. It is not. I have checked. And I don't want to purchase the ebooks of them. I honestly want to save my money for the physical, like for the physical copies. And speaking of that, we were at Walmart tonight. We had to just go get a couple things before we came home. We ended up seeing volume 8. I love it. Love it. I'm so excited. Volume 8. And look at it's so colorful. It is so colorful. I don't know what's going on here whatsoever, but it is so colorful. I like it so, so much. And volume 9. Oh, so cool. Now I don't know what move he doing. It's funny to me right here. I don't know who this dude is just yet, but I'm gonna find out. And look at that bag. Look at that. Where did he come from? I hope he's not evil, because he looks cool. Like I said, we'll find out when we get there. So I'm thinking that maybe I can go ahead and include these in this vlog. I wasn't expecting to get these. I was expecting just to read the 7 volumes that I already had in this vlog. But since I ended up finding these tonight, I think I might go ahead and include these in the vlog as well, just so I can pretty much catch up on at least one manga series off my shelves. But yeah, that was my little haul for this month. This is actually the first 2 things that I bought this month. I haven't bought any other books yet this month besides these 2 manga. I will try my best and come back tomorrow after I have read volume 6. I'm going to try to come back and do my update before I start volume 7. That way I'm not, smushing everything together in one update. But yeah, I really have been enjoying my time reading these so far. I'm pretty about to be 6 volumes in. So yeah, I'm enjoying them so far. Like I said, volume 5 was just a lot for me personally. It was just a lot for me to get through. Not that I dislike this, it was just tougher to get through. I'm gonna go to bed and try and get some sleep, but I will see you in the morning. There, it is Wednesday. I did not update yesterday at all. I was up cleaning and cooking and reorganizing and all the things, but I didn't actually sit down to do a whole lot of reading. I did though. Before I started, I read volume 6 of Dandadan. 5, Gigi had just merged with the Evil Eye. The Evil Eye was just once a lonely boy. The Evil Eye is no longer that young frightened child with nobody else to play with. And I think that the Evil Eye really played into Gigi being so like kind. And I think that the Evil Eye really took advantage of that and was just kind of lying in wait for Gigi to, come by so that he can pretty much take over his body. And now Gigi is this yokai, and he's so destructive and violent, and any human he sees, he's going to try to take out. The switch was so crazy. For me, it was just weird seeing Gigi go from like this very goofy, funny, silly person, and then like he is so revengeful, so violent, so mean now because of this evil eye. Momo's grandmother does find a way to trap the like yokai Gigi inside of Taro, who's the anatomical like man from the school. When that happens, it's like a 3-in-1. It's like three people in one body. Of course, you know, like even though he's been taken over, Gigi is still there. He's like it's his body, but it's Gigi's body inside of Taro's body. But inside of Gigi's body, there's the evil eye. So it's all a bit strange. We also get some help from Mr. Shrimp. Shows up with his like alien ship and just kind of helps save the day. Momo's looking for Okuran because she doesn't see him. She's like, where is he? I hadn't seen him in forever. Where did he go? What happened? Is he okay? And all of this is happening in the midst of like the volcano erupting. So of course there's hot lava everywhere. You're still trying to get people to evacuate, and you're still trying to like, find all your people that you came there with so y'all can leave together and everybody leaving in one piece. And she can't find Okuran. She notices that there's an area pretty much filled with hot lava, and the Mr. Shrimp's son is now operating the spaceship. And he found a way, with the help of Momo, to spray the like phlegm or whatever. It's nasty. The phlegm and stuff that's coming from the like worm, the giant worm, over the lava because it kind of neutralizes the heat and everything from the lava. So they got to aim the phlegm at the lava, and so it cools and it hardens enough for her to pry open a big section of that. They got a huge section of it. It's on this page when he does that with the spaceship. Huge section, and she uses her powers to lift that piece up that he kind of covered with that phlegm, and inside is Okuran and Turbo Granny. Okuran had already found out that the phlegm from the worm would like neutralize all that heat and stuff, so he he grabbed Turbo Granny and bundled up real tight when the explosions and stuff like that was happening. So they were fine. They were enclosed though, so they did need Momo's help still, but they were perfectly fine other than some bumps and bruises. After some of that has calmed down, they're sitting down eating at Momo and Momo's grandma's house, and I don't know whether to call him Taro or Gigi or what, but like I said, basically Taro is a shell right now for Gigi's physical body. But Taro is trying to eat some food and it's really hot. He's like, hold on, everything's going black. And then out of nowhere, he's like, where is everybody? Where am I? And Momo's like, Taro, come on. Like, is this a joke? And he says, it's not me. Momo, is that you? When Taro ate the hot food, it shifted him back into Gigi. They did realize that it was him. They made him take like the anatomical face off, and it is in fact Gigi. He is in there. So we have just discovered that if Gigi is anywhere near hot water, he's cool. He's Gigi. It's fine. The one they all know. But the minute he touches some cold water, he turns into the yokai and wants to start killing everybody. I then finished volume 7 a little bit earlier today. And in this one, we actually get a little bit more of, what is his name? Manjiro. I think he's a priest at a shrine, but he also studies under Seiko, or Momo's grandma. He studies under her, and I don't think he has any like psychic abilities. I don't think like nothing as drastic as Momo, but he's a really good fighter. We do start this one off with him or Gigi being able to go and visit his parents. They're still recovering. They're not ready to like come home or anything like that, but he is able to go and see his parents. And they take a trip out there to see them, but everybody has to pack a thermos of hot water in order to possibly splash on Gigi in case he goes all crazy. But while they're doing this, they're noticing that Gigi and Taro are having this whole struggle about Taro not walking and behaving like a human. He's not doing what I tell him to do. And Gigi's is really mad because you're not doing what I told you to do. And he's Taro's like, where's my body? You the one hosting. He's like, you the one along for the ride. You need my body. I don't need yours. But the trip to see them was nice and a bit emotional. And I like that I love that Gigi got a chance to see his parents, but also to see them with us. They had a smile on their faces as well. And to just have that little reunion was so sweet and touching after all the wildness that has been going on so far. In this next chapter, when we go back to school with our main characters, Ira and Okran and Momo, when we go back to school with them, you see how much Ira being honest about starting those rumors about Momo has started to affect her at school. Ira's like, she's very much like, doesn't want her image to be tainted or anything like that. So she is all about popularity and everything. And of course, her being honest about being mean to somebody else has messed with her popularity. And she still finds a way to blame it on Momo. I don't know why, but I'm like, it's your fault that that you started that rumor about Momo. Nobody told you to do it. You decided to do it. Momo actually asks Okaran and Ira to come live with them so that they can keep a closer eye on Gigi and to kind of monitor him to make sure that he doesn't shift and, hurt everybody. Both eventually agree to come and help because Momo's grandma has been caring for Gigi while like the kids are at school. And so she needs time to rest and everything in the evenings so that she can do it again while they're at school the next school day. Okaran comes in and he's all, he got his backpack on, packed his clothes and stuff like that. He's very reasonable packer, reasonable person. Ira comes in with this ginormous suitcase. She's got on her overcoat, her shades, her big floppy hat. She got boots up to her thighs. I'm like, girl, where are you going? What fashion runway do you think you're going to? You are going to Momo's house to help watch Gigi. One thing that was nice is that Gigi no longer has to stay sealed inside of Taru anymore. He can kind of walk around and move on his own now. Now that Gigi doesn't have like that barrier of Taro's body, he's going to be more vulnerable to getting splashed with water and like having that reaction of going into his yokai form. So they have to be more careful and cautious now and keep like hot water and stuff like that handy all the time. So they're sitting down eating dinner. Momo's grandma asks Okaran to pass her the soy sauce. And so he's like, okay, sure. And so he goes to pass her the soy sauce, but a drop of the soy sauce, a drop, lands on Gigi's hand. And immediately Gigi flips the table, starts going crazy, throwing stuff everywhere, breaking parts of the house. Half of the house is broke. He done blasted through the front door and everything, all because a drop of soy sauce landed on his hand. A drop of soy sauce. And he kicking everybody out the way. Like I said, the front door is just gone. And just it was a whole scene in this house. Just tore up everything. I forgot what their like group name is. It's like they basically are these performers that people call in order to do like exorcism on people. And so Momo's grandma had called them prior to um the have them having dinner, had called prior to that so they can come and play while she performs the exorcism on Gigi. And they come, but they come striding in, and I've got to, what page is that? Look at this. He comes, I mean, it's just sass. You know what? I must say, I love the confidence. I love the confidence and the sass and the drama. He's giving it all. and he was like, pardon the intrusion. And Momo's grandma said, if you're intruding, then leave. And they go, okie doke. And they all march off in a single file line, just march away. But then they do come back, and they're just like, is this the home of Seiko? Isn't it? And she's like, so what if it is? But they have actually come to perform so they can do the exorcism. The music that these people play is got to be like, I feel like it's more of a heavy metal type of thing. Okuran, Momo, and Ira are rocking out, jamming hard to this band. But Momo's grandma gets ready to do the exorcism while they're playing, and Gigi is getting very agitated, very, very overwhelmed, and very sad because, of course, you're trying to pull the evil eye out of him. And Gigi is torn because, of course, like, he wants to stop hurting people. Like, when he gets splashed with cold liquids, of course, he doesn't want to turn into this murderous yokai. He wants to be himself. And he is torn between, wanting to be free of that and wanting to keep his promise to the evil eye. And all that evil eye, Gigi's like, all he ever wanted was a friend. And it was someone to play with. And I promised him that I would play with him, which is how he got like possessed in the first place. I think Gigi in his heart just still feels that is a little boy, a lonely little boy who just needs a friend and needs someone to talk to. And of course, that's not the case anymore. But Gigi is he has it in his heart to be that friend to that little boy that once was a little boy. He has it in his heart to be that. And so he's like, stop it. Please, please don't do it. Don't go, please stop it. Don't do it. Don't kill the evil eye. And Seiko, Momo's grandma, she's like, okay. she's just like, okay. She's like, the evil eye is just part of the family now too. I'm like, I mean, so it's a bit of a dysfunctional family, if you ask me. But hey, if it works, it works, I guess. Ira thinks that not getting the exorcism is a selfish thing for Gigi to do because he wants to still, keep his promise to the evil eye. And then Okuran is like, in that case, then I will, improve myself so that I can keep an eye on that, evil eye. I can keep it in check. He goes on to say, if I'm stronger, then even if you can't keep the evil eye in check, then I should be strong enough to help you when it happens. And that is a lot of effort for Okuran to take on. And Ira just says, like, that's a lot. You go through all that effort for him. You'd never be able to sleep peacefully again. Your life will be in danger. Okuran says, but he's my friend. And I'm like, that's so sweet. That is so sweet and considerate. Right before they go back in, though, from being outside, like with the concert and, the band and everything, it starts to rain. And right as Gigi was running to hug Okuran to thank him for, saying that he would help, it starts to rain and Okuran shifts into the yokai and knocks Okuran into the house, messes up the roof, the side of the house, and everything. He messed up the inside of the house, now the outside of the house is messed up too. So I'm like, this house is barely standing. Cause if one supportive beam falls, that's it. And Momo is like, I need a part-time job because now the house is ruined, it's trash because, Gigi kind of flew off the handle twice and wrecked the inside and the outside of the house. So Gigi's like, I want a part-time job. And her friends are like, so you can buy a new phone so we can call you? And she's like, why would I do that? I need my house. Momo gets this job like waitressing at this tea shop, I guess. Is what I guess it's a tea shop. Things. And she got off at 10 p.m. that night. And Okaran was like, I'll wait here with you. I'm going to stay right here and I'm going to walk you home. And she's like, no, leave, because she's embarrassed about like her friends and Okaran seeing her at her job. And Okaran was like, girls shouldn't walk home alone at night. There's no telling what'll happen. And she tells him to go away and he walks away. He does. But before she leaves work for the evening, out comes Okaran running to greet her. And she was like, wait, you didn't go home? He was like, I can't very well leave a girl by herself at this hour. Now let's get home quickly. And they hold hands while they walk home. And so back at the house, Gigi is trying to learn from what's his name again? Manjiro and Momo's grandma how to kind of suppress the evil spirit coming out, or to Momo coming home so he can share his good news with Momo that he's been able to suppress the evil eye. Ira with her jealous self comes and she's like, you two coming in together at this hour she says this to Okaran and Momo, and they're just like, we just, like, what's going on? And she runs by with an ice cold drink in her hand, knocks into Gigi, who's going to greet Momo, and she spills all this ice cold liquid on Gigi. And of course, he loses his marbles. Momo, all she wanted was a sip of the hot water from a thermos because she was cold. All she wanted was a sip of that, and she couldn't even get a chance to do all of that because Ira knocked over her cold drink on Gigi. And he's fighting and he's about ready to punch Momo's lights out. And she spits a mouthful of the hot water in his face and he comes back down. When he did that, in that moment, he put, Momo in jeopardy. Okaran wanted to come to her rescue so badly. He transformed in everything, but he couldn't get to her because of how strong Gigi is in his yokai form. He's so much stronger than Okaran, even though Okaran has been trying to get stronger. He is still stronger. And for Momo after Gigi has attacked everybody, and he's trying his best to calm down and everything, but I noticed how that caused a rift between Gigi and Okaran. And right when they were, they actually forming a friendship, I don't love that they may have something against them, like some kind of animosity because of a girl. I feel like that storyline possibly could have been avoided. But yeah, Okaran is still trying to get stronger and be better. And so he asks for help from Turbo Granny to help him get stronger because he wants to learn how to land a punch. But she's like, it's difference between knowing how to punch and being stronger. You want me to teach you how to be stronger? Let me teach you how to be stronger. They leave, and who's following them? Yeah, Ira. Ira sees them and she follows them. They end up fighting these crazy music people. Music playing. I don't even know how to describe them because Turbo Granny has taken Okaran to this abandoned place. Like it's almost like a orchestra, something. She takes him there and she starts playing the piano and she was like, you move like this, dun dun dun. And she's like, Gigi moves like this, on the piano. Just try to give him a example of how slow he is compared to Gigi, and why he never wins against Gigi, because he's so slow. It takes him so long to react when Gigi is like 4 or 5 steps ahead of him. Out of nowhere, here come these, like, I don't even know what they are. All of these people or beings or whatever, I don't know what they are. I really don't know who they are. I don't really understand where they come from. Like, did they hop out of a picture or something like that? Where did they come from? But they're doing, I'm just so confused. I'm like, did the music activate the pictures that they were in, and now they're out and they're wreaking havoc? Because every time they play their instrument, music notes and everything pop out. But the thing is, their music notes are like bombs. So if they hit Okuran or Ira, they cause bodily damage. And I don't know how volume 8 is going to pick up from there. I'm like, are y'all still gonna be fighting or what? But I'm going to see what volume 8 has in it, because now I'm ready to read volumes 8 and 9. And after I read volumes 8 and 9, I will have caught up on all the volumes that I have currently. So I'm going to do that here in a little bit. I'm going to check on everybody first, because I don't hear my kids. And one thing, as a parent, if you don't hear your kids, there might be a problem. I am going to go and check on everybody, see if anybody needs anything, and if they don't, then I'll go ahead and start reading volume 8. It is, what time is it? Oh, it's already 7:40 in the evening. So I don't really know how much updating I'm going to be able to do this evening. I'm really hoping that I'm able to at least tell you my thoughts on volume 8. Maybe I get about halfway through and give me my thoughts on volume 8, if I'm able to do that. If not, I'll just update in the morning. Hello there. It is like 10:38 at night, and I just sat down to read some of Dandadan volume 8. I don't see myself being able to read both of them before I get too sleepy. So I'm at least going to try and finish volume 8 tonight. But I managed to take a nice shower and relax a little bit. And I've got a little bit of ASMR on the TV right now. But yeah, so it's been a nice night. I just haven't picked up, anything to read since my last update. I haven't picked up anything until now. And before I keep reading on, I think I forget to mention every time, but when Okuran, when he transforms and he is in his yokai form, he is so depressed. He's like, this is depressing. This sucks so much. What a bummer. Like, every single time he transforms, is some form of that. It's just some form of down in the dumps. And I don't know how I keep forgetting that, but every time he transforms, it's some form of that. It's at least once. He said something at least once, and he just said it like a page or two ago. He's like, "What a bummer." Yeah, he is definitely not his happiest when he's in that state, and it's different than when he isn't in that state. But then again, he does have a lot of self-doubt. Okuran does have a lot of self-doubt when he isn't in this state. When he's just regular old Okuran, he still does have a lot of self-doubt as well. So I kind of feel like it's just amplified when he transforms and he's Turbo Granny or whatever. I'm still reading through them with this symphony, because right now they're still trying to fight their way out of the last battle with all the music notes, shooting bombs, sending bombs their way. I don't know where all these people come from to do this symphony. I'm like, are y'all among the land of the living? I don't know. I don't know where all these people come from, but they have their mouths wide open, singing their soul out. I'm gonna sit here and what time is it now? Oh gosh, it's 10:43. I've been talking for a little bit, but I'm gonna sit here, listen to my ASMR, read a little bit. I finally escaped from the orchestra. Turns out they were fighting like it's everyone's collective fears of the portraits in the music room, and they had taken form. So I guess like when you pass by some of those creepy photos, and they scare you, the fear of the people that would walk by and see them had taken some kind of physical form. And so they had to fight all those people. It was like thousands of them, and like really, really tall giants as well. And Ira took them out. It was pretty cool. She used her hair when she transformed into acrobatic Silky and took them out. But yes, they did defeat the people at the orchestra. And Okaran has called Gigi out to sort of challenge him. Well, I guess not directly challenge Gigi, but to challenge the evil eye. And so now every week on Tuesdays after school, the evil eye and Okaran have to fight because Okaran is trying his best to shift the attention that the evil eye has on like different people, other people like his friends and just other people in general. Okaran is trying to shift the evil eye's attention away from the people and just put all the attention on Okaran. And I like that Okaran decided to just like step up and make that call on his own. That took a lot of bravery, because even though Okaran does have some strength when he goes all out as Turbo Granny, when he transforms, he's still not able to easily overpower the evil eye inside of Gigi. So I think that showed a lot of bravery, and he's beginning to do a lot more to just protect those around him, and that's really cool. I didn't think though that agreeing to this deal would involve Gigi taking off his underwear. And so he says he starts to strip out of his underwear, because that's all he got on. It's like these tiny whities in the first place. It's not like he got a full set of clothes on anyway. He just got on the tiny whities. And so he starts to strip them off, and he says, these want to kill all humans, so they say they won't go along with the deal. So the tidy whities will not go along with the deal to fight Okaran each week on Tuesdays after school. The tidy whities want to kill the humans. How can the underwear have a say so like that? I'm just like, what is happening? Manjiro has to take the underwear back to his shrine to keep them safe. I'm like, okay. Because he got the whole briefcase for the underwear and everything. But I'm 69 pages in, and it is already after 11. I would have loved to at least get 100 pages into this tonight, but I am so tired. I'm probably going to just call it a night here and pick this back up in the morning, and then come and give some more updates after I finished it. But yeah, so that's pretty much it for me tonight. I'll see you in the morning. morning. Happy Thursday. I have been reading some more of volume 8 of Dandadan, and I think I stopped last night before starting chapter 62, and I'm on chapter 65 now. So I don't have that long to finish this volume, but I wanted to kind of come and give a brief update real quick. After Okaran had challenged um Gigi in the evil eye to only fight him, everybody leaves Momo in Seiko's house, and they realize, okay, our house is trashed and we're gonna have to rebuild. But we don't have the money to do that, so we're gonna try to figure it out. I do like how I do like how selfless Seiko is. She's very much like she will help others in like around her in her community as much as she can, and she doesn't ask for much of anything in return. Honestly, she is like she's like that grandma that she gonna talk about you, but she gonna do all she can for you, and that is definitely Seiko. She's so she's so thoughtful about what other people need and what they may have to contribute. Like Momo, for example, just started a part-time job. She was like, I just started my job, so I don't have any money. And she was like, who asked you for any money? And she does the same thing with Gigi and Okaran when they offer to pay her back or do something for her. She's like, I didn't ask you to pay me back. I didn't ask you to do this. I didn't help you just so you can ask me for something in return. I think that is so refreshing, honestly, to hear and to read about in these volumes, that and she's like that consistently through the series so far. Her and Momo make their way to the like hot baths and massages and everything, so they go and relax and get all warmed up, and they're heading home. And that's when Momo is like, I just started my job. I don't have any money. And they they reach their house, and somebody's already there waiting for them. There's just like a robot contractor, Mr. Shrimp and Okaran. Okaran was heading home and bumped into Mr. Shrimp and offered and asked for help because Seiko has done so much for him and he wants the way to repay her. And they bring this like really cool nano skin product, and you can shape and mold it into what you want it to be. And they rebuild Seiko and Momo's house after they've already rebuilt the house. They're finished with everything. Gigi comes and he's running behind the truck that his parents are in so they can come and help rebuild the house. But of course, the house is already built. So they get there and it's like, it's not wrecked. Gigi does go back to school with everybody else because he's finally gotten, the evil eye under control and everything. Momo has just found out that he's been shifting back and forth between the evil eye and himself. And he's like, no, it's fine. It's under control. It's okay. He's been keeping his promise. The evil eye has been keeping his promise. And I'm like, okay, or if you sure. While Gigi and Momo have been walking and talking about how he's been transforming into the evil eye, like 3 girls comes out and they're just like, no, Gigi, long time no see. Like, you've been out of school for a long time. Everything okay? And Gigi's been back to his like same flirty and over the top self. And one of them offers him a sip of the new flavor of Pampy. I had no idea what Pampy is, and it keeps getting referred to in this series. So I looked it up. It's based on a real Japanese drink brand. I think the original is Panpee, a milk and juice drink blend. So, I mean, I don't know if it would taste really sweet or what. I guess it depends on what flavors it is. But yeah, they offer him a sip of this Pampy But the problem is Gigi will still turn into the evil eye if he has something cold. And obviously, if you mix in juice and milk, if it's that type of mixture, you're going to have it cold. So, of course, he takes a sip and he transforms into the evil eye. When that happens, so he's like, I'm going to butcher you all. This is tasty. I'm like, pick a side. The meeting, and I still don't know his name yet. I've only read one chapter with this person in it. He is so odd. He is so odd. He just pops up and starts randomly talking to Okaran, and Okaran keeps looking around like, "Are you talking to me? Like who? Like what do you need? Why are you talking to me?" And Okaran doesn't say it in a rude way because that's really just not Okaran. He's not going to say it in a rude way, but he is just so shocked and surprised that you just randomly walk up and start talking to him. And because the first thing that the guy says to him is, I see you, my enemy. Like, talk about first impressions. That is a weird first impression. Just like the whole interaction with them is just so odd. But he is so like jealous of Okaran right off the bat because he's talking to two girls. He was like, first it was Momo and now it's Ira. So how you talking to him? And they talk to you back. Like what you got that I don't have? And I'm like, probably less of a creep factor. Momo has caught word that the other golden ball has been seen. And so she and Okaran need to try and go get it so they can, of course, put it back into place. The creepy guy overhears them and he's also following them. So I'm like, weird because it's giving stalker vibes. I'm not here for it. But he ends up finding both of them and then getting himself into trouble because now he's gotten all knocked around and beat up. He is starting to remind me of Ira. He shows up when nobody asks him to, but also puts himself into more dangerous situations than he needs to be saved when he puts himself into those situations. I think I'm going to sit here and read the last 3 volumes of this and give you my thoughts when I'm done. I'll see you in a little bit. I have finished volume 8 of Dandadan. When Momo and Okaran couldn't see why the golden ball was kind of, looks like it was just floating, but you know, Okaran was like, is someone there? But I can't see them. It's turned out to be a kaiju. Their new creepy friend helped them to understand how to kind of overpower the kaiju. It's humongous. That's the kaiju that they were like trying to fight. But the kaiju does make it to Momo's house and they're trying to figure out a plan to defeat the kaiju. Okaran thinks they may be able to defeat the kaiju using the nanoskins that they use to rebuild the house. I don't know how that's supposed to work, but we'll see. I do remember them being like pretty much indestructible. And they, like, if they're damaged, if the nanoskins are damaged, they can like they can kind of reshape and reform and still be intact. I'm gonna grab volume 9. Where did I put volume 9? Okay, got it. We got volume 9. So I am going to start volume 9. Oh, his name is Kenta Sakata. Oh, okay. turn the house into a giant Buddha robot. That's pretty cool. Oh gosh, they don't know how to make it move. So we are missing a whole arm now already. So they said they were just gonna pick a button and push one. So everybody just pick one button because they don't know how to operate it. So everybody just push one button, and Okaran comes shooting out of one of the arms, and I'm like, oh gosh. The evil eye is just like, I'm out of here. Uh-oh. Ooh, the kaiju came and just kicked the mess out of the statue, the robot that they're in. Ooh. Ooh, the nano skin is regenerating and transforming. It looks cool now. It does look cooler now. Every time the robot takes a hit, their airbags deploy inside of it, so they're just getting their faces squished and everything. Every time they take a hit. Okay, so that's cool. The others like Momo and Ira can use their powers while they're inside of the robot. That is pretty cool. Cool. So Momo visualized her house, and the robot went right back into where her house is supposed to be. So yeah, they made it back, but everybody is everybody's sick on the stomach now because there was a lot of moving and twisting and everything going on. Why did they bring the kaiju back? I'm confused. Oh, he says Okaran. What is that thing? Because Okaran and Gigi are running back with the kaiju, and Gigi says, Okaran, what is that thing? Okaran says, don't know, but it's a cryptid. Cryptid? I can say that much. In the old days, we called cryptids kaiju. Oh, Sakata is so extra. Okaran is trying to like hype him up, saying it was awesome how suddenly you got it moving. And Sakata's like, oh, spare me. It was a piece of cake, especially for me. Okaran is looking inside the kaiju's mouth. I don't know why he thought to look inside the mouth first. But Gigi said, what happened? And he goes, Sakata, what is this? Situation report. But oh God. Oh. In its mouth, I saw a part of a person. For real? Impossible. You mean it ate someone? Something that big and you surprised it ate someone is surprising to me. What is happening here? Okay, so Okaran goes to like see what's in the kaiju's mouth, and there's a zipper on the front. So he unzips it, and there's a person inside. Oh, I'm sorry. What is going on here? So, uh, I mean, the person inside of the kaiju is out of the kaiju and is kissing Okaran. What is happening right now? Momo comes and kicks the crap out of this person. So Sakata is upset that he didn't the unzip the zipper on the kaiju. He was like, I want to do over because he wanted that kiss. Oh my goodness. Oh, she's not speaking in any type of English, so they don't understand what she's saying at all. Gigi is too much too. He has his hands like splayed out on his face. I'm like, look, I'm an axolotl. They're trying to communicate with her, but of course nobody knows her language. My name is Kenta Sakata, also known by the name Gail Wynn Albert. Don't nobody call you that. Hello there, I am back with another update. I did finish volume 9 of Dandadan. This is the last volume that I do have in this series. I don't know when I will get more. I would need like 10 through 19, and I don't have those yet to continue with the series, but I am going to continue this series at some point. It just won't be in this video because this is all I have for right now. But yeah, I really enjoyed my time reading Dandadan. I hope you enjoyed watching me read through this very wild and colorful and chaotic series. But yeah, that is going to be it for this video. Thank you so much for watching. Have a great day or night wherever you are. Take care of yourself, please, and thank you for being amazing. Bye.